What's going on, everyone? What up? What up? Good morning. Good morning. I'm really excited for today's stream. I worked pretty hard on this article just because I think that this story deserves a little extra attention. We're going to talk about arguably the greatest story, short story in all of, Runeterra lore. And we're going to talk about what that could mean for the Riot MMO, a potential raid, perhaps. I definitely foresee this being a raid eventually. Not at launch, but an eventual raid for sure. And this story is all the way over here in the Freljord. It's none other than the Eye in the Abyss, a descent into Freljord's darkest secret, arguably the darkest secret in all of Runeterra. If you go to the article here, you click on the original story, you can see this is the Eye in the Abyss. It's a long one. But I really like to read. You guys probably don't know this about me. I literally worked in the library. That was my favorite job I ever had. I started working there when I was like senior year in high school, and then I just kept working there pretty much all through college. The hours became less just because, it didn't pay very well. But I always liked to read, so that's kind of why I got into Runeterra lore, because I feel like I just can keep reading. I read The Runed King. I read Ambessa. I like to read. So that's a long one. I realized that I didn't just, copy and paste the whole thing. It took me a while to sift through and kind of dig what's important here and where do I want to quote, because I don't want to take away from the story, right? I want you guys to feel it. And you're going to feel it, I hope. So this is the best story, the best short story in all of Runeterra. If you only ever read one short story, this is it. The Eye in the Abyss, a descent into the Freljord's darkest secret. In the desolate, frozen north of Runeterra, a land known as the Freljord, stands the Frostguard Citadel. And you can see the Frostguard Citadel here. If we actually go to the map, you can see Frostguard Citadel. And this is how Frostguard Citadel looks. You can even see it in the map. You can see those two pillars coming out, right? You see those two pillars right there? That's literally showing this, the entrance to Frostguard Citadel. Look how massive, look at this little tiny stairs. Look how massive these pillars are. Imagine how intimidating that's going to be when you walk up. Yo, what up, Lefty? Imagine how intimidating that's going to be when you walk up to what I'm going to call the Howling Abyss raid in the Freljord. And you walk up and you see these massive pillars and you have to walk through these stairs. Guys, the Freljord expansion is going to be the best expansion by far. Whenever that comes out, and it's not going to come at launch, it's too good. It's too good. We're talking like a 3-part series, multiple parts, multiple sections, multiple patches within patches. That's how much the Freljord deserves. But just imagine walking up to these giant stone columns with true ice. I don't think that's true ice, but it's definitely some glowing ice. It looks pretty. And you're just this little person on these stairs. Come on. That's going to be great. Glad starting with Freljord, my favorite part of the map. Yep, my favorite part of the map and my favorite story. Carved from black ice and stone, it looms over a chasm of impossible depth, the Howling Abyss. And what's crazy about the Howling Abyss is Ornn is actually the one that carved the Howling Abyss, according to legend. At least the people that worship Ornn believe that he carved the Howling Abyss. I think it's definitely possible. Ornn carved the Howling Abyss and built the bridge that crosses the Howling Abyss. Here, the Frostguard, a zealous insular order, worshipped the reclusive leader, the Ice Witch Lysandra, and the legendary 3 sisters of the Freljord's past. So Lysandra, this character here, had 3 sisters, the one I'm showing also in Wild Rift. She had 3 sisters, Avarosa, Serilda, and her Lysandra. Those are the 3 sisters. And let me fix this really quick. Let me just fix that on the mobile. So top needs to be like, I want to be bigger for you guys. Cut off the wrong thing. There we go. Now you guys can see For all you mobile viewers out there. Okay. Lysandra had 3 sisters, Avarosa and Serilda. At this point, only Lysandra exists. She's the only one left, and these 3 sisters are powerful. And these are the Frost Guard who follow her. But their faith is built upon a chilling secret, a world-ending threat imprisoned in the darkness below. As the highest tier of the priesthood, answering only to the Ice Witch herself, Draklorn are among the most zealous and learned of the old Frost Guard. Some of them rarely set foot outside the Citadel's walls, and they are no doubt privy to secrets that would never be entrusted to the lower ranks. And you could see a couple of them up here, like those look like Draklorn on the steps to me. These are probably the only people in all of Runeterra that know this secret, at least the ones that don't visibly go down there and look for themselves. None of these Frostguard know actually truly what's Lysandra's secret. You can see look how badass this image is of these 3 Draklorn. They look awesome. I definitely think we'll battle a couple of those guys. They'll be like, you know, it'll be a raid boss, one of the Draklorn. There'll definitely be like a couple of them throughout the story, throughout the raid as well. You'll definitely battle Frostguard who are loyal to Lysandra. The Draklorn is the highest and highest tier of priesthood, answering only to the Ice Witch herself. Draklorn are among the most zealous and learned of the Frostguard. Some of them really set foot outside those walls, and they are no doubt privy to secrets that would never be entrusted to lower ranks. This is literally quoted from the Map of Runeterra page. And I just wanted to show this cinematic Enter the Freljord because I feel like it really sets the stage.
The Freljord, a frozen, desolate place. War is coming to the Freljord. The Avarosan, the largest and strongest of the tribes. Led by Ash, they seek peaceful unification. The Winter's Claw, the most warlike and brutal of the tribes. Led by Sejuani, they think peace is another word for weakness. Sejuani has sworn to purge this weakness. Through war, the Freljord will be purified. Far in the north, the peaceful Frostguard protect Freljord's ancient secrets. Or so the world believes. In truth, the Frostguard protect me, Lysandra. While others bicker, we prepare. When the time is right, we will strike. They cannot withstand us. They are only human. And when the war is over, the world, our world, will be reborn in ice.
Oop. Yeah, I think that's a great cinematic, and it really sets the stage for the Freljord. I'm gonna put it like right there. There we go. Beautiful. I think that really sets the stage of the Freljord. So she'd mentioned Ash and Sejuani. Those are 2 other characters in the Freljord, and Ash is believed to be the reincarnation of Lysandra's sister, Avarosa, and this is Ash over here. Ash is believed to be the reincarnation of Lysandra's sister's Avarosa, and Sejuani is believed to be the reincarnation of Lysandra's sister, Serilda. Although it is just like a rumor, right? It's not hard confirmed. It's just what some people believe within the Freljord. I would like it to be true. I think it'd be awesome if it was true, that Lysandra's sisters are coming back and they end up battling Lysandra. So it would be interesting. Right now, Ash is actually wielding Avarosa's bow, and sometimes it radiates against her back and helps her make decisions. So like she'll want to do something and she'll feel the bow pulse against her back, kind of guiding her. There's nothing like that I know of with Sejuani, but that is Avarosa's bow. Each year, this is good, right? I need to make it a little bit smaller so it all fits. Okay, I think that's fine. Each year, 3 of the Frostguard finest are chosen for a sacred pilgrimage into the heart of the darkness. This is the story of that descent, a journey that reveals the terrible truth their goddess has fought for millennia to conceal. This is the biggest secret in all of Runeterra, absolutely, without question, and probably the most dangerous one that we have. The sacred duty. The mission begins with a solemn ritual. The 3 chosen warriors, all iceborn, descendants of those blessed with resistance to the unnatural cold, kneel before the gates of the citadel. This year, the honor falls to the veteran, Olar Stonefist, the unforgiving Hala Ice in her soul, and the young celebrated hero, Sigvar Halfquiver. A frost piece anoints their foreheads with an eye symbol, a mark of their goddess. And you can see, this image isn't like supposed to be that, but I feel like it might be. You can see like this is kind of like at the gate on the steps and over the bridge of the Howling Abyss. There's definitely some people kneeling here. So probably them getting ready. You could see like a big gate behind them. The eye is upon you, he said. This is the priest speaking to Sigvar. And it does not blink, intoned Sigvar in reply, lowering his head once more. His forehead burned as the ink seared his skin, but he endured it with the stoicism of the Iceborn. Pain was blessing. With their gear secured, the trio steps out onto the colossal Bridge of Sorrows. The only tongue-tied. With the gear secured, the trio steps out onto the colossal Bridge of Sorrows, the only path across the Howling Abyss. As the citadel gates boom shut behind them, their long descent into the chasm begins. And you can see there's the Howling Abyss, there's the bridge going across it, and the Howling Abyss is just massive. Like, I understand, like, the theory is that, at least according to the people that worship him, that Ornn carved this, but I don't even know if it's possible for Ornn to carve this thing. But that is according to the lore. The perilous descent. The journey downward is a grueling test of endurance, moving from one ancient, crumbling bridge to the next. The 3 climbers rappel down the sheer ice walls of the chasm. The Abyss is a place of legend, the site of the Freljord's most important battle, where the Iceborn fought the monstrous Watchers. You can see some of the Iceborn, and this is literally a Watcher coming into existence. And it's almost painful for the Watchers when they first broke into existence. Keep in mind, like, the Watchers, I have a great image here that I think where I made, let's see, I think is it for the Belveth story? Yeah. The Watchers come from the Void, right? They're all the way over here, separate realm. It's not even reality. We live in reality. They live in the Void, an endless, nothingness expanse. They're annoyed with reality, which is why they wanted to come into here. And the story that the Watchers, the Frostguard believe, is that the Frostguard fought the Watchers in the past. And this is literally a Watcher breaking into existence. And it it was painful for them when they came into existence. They railed against reality. Time, pain, feeling, all this stuff was like new to them. And this is a Watcher first entering existence. This is the Legends of Runeterra's illustration of it. The descent is punishing. Hours blur together in a repetitive rhythm of hacking ice picks, kicking in toe spikes, and waiting. During one section, the ice gives way beneath Sigvar, and he plummets 40 feet before the rope anchored by Olar jerks him to a violent halt. Shamed by his mistake, he continues onward. They pause for a brief rest on the Bridge of Shadow, a span so deep it never sees the sun. This is likely the Bridge of Shadow. It's so deep, like not even sunlight gets there, but there's sunlight in the image. And you can see here Olar shares a flask of potent spirits, and to ease the tension tells the story behind Sigvar's name, Halfquiver. Actually, I think that bridge was farther down, right? That's the Bridge of Shadow. Hold on. Let me make sure. I want to make sure that's the right image. The Eye in the Abyss. It appeared like a wraith in the fog. One moment there was nothing below. That's the Bridge of the Lost. Yeah, that's the wrong bridge. I gotta fix that. Because that bridge is like, the Bridge of Shadow is different. Here, Olar shares a flask of potent spirits, and to ease the tension, tells the story behind Sigvar's name, Half-Quiver. The tusk crows stuck the boy with no less than 12 arrows. He was a big lad though, even then had 4 arrows in his shield, 2 in one leg, 1 clean through his forearm, 2 in the chest, 1 in his shoulder, more in his back, but he kept on fighting. He pulls one of the arrows out of him and kills another 2 tusk crows with it. One of the funniest damn things I ever seen. True Iceborn. So that's how he gets his name, Half-Quiver. After their short respite, they press on, descending past the Bridge of the Lost. That's what that is. The structure is encased in bizarre, black rock-like formations, the grotesque remnants of the past battle where the Void consumed fallen Frostguard warriors. The oppressive atmosphere triggers a forgotten memory in Sigvar, the day the Frostguard took him from his tribe as a child, the last time he ever saw his family. So that's what that is. That's the Bridge of the Lost. You can see kind of like Void remnants on it. And it's important to remember the Frostguard will literally take children. Though in the case of Sigvar, it was like a great honor. The children were almost given to the Frostguard to serve Lysandra. And he was definitely chosen because he was Iceborn. But I mean, they'll just take the children if they have to. They've done that before. You can see that in Tales of Runeterra. I'm not gonna play this whole video, but you can see there's a child. Braum is fighting to defend them. There's the child that they're trying to take. And we're talking like baby level. Probably because he's Iceborn. And these guys are not Iceborn, but if there's an Iceborn, the Frostguard want them. Maybe for stuff like this, maybe for this test. I'd love to see this child get older and be referenced back to in the Riot MMO. That'd be really interesting. But yeah, they don't care. The Frostguard will kill anyone in their way when it comes to that. No, in the case of Sigvar's case, it was a great honor to be taken to join the Frostguard. Odds are he was chosen because he was Iceborn, which is a hereditary trait, giving him the ability to resist the unnatural cold and wield true ice weapons. However, the Frostguard will take children from villages by force if they have to, as seen in the Tales of Runeterra Freljord the Raid. A hand on his shoulder brought him shuddering back to the present. He was sitting with his back against the splintering stone statue of an ancient guardian. He had no memory of sitting down. Olar was stooped over him. "Don't sleep," said the old warrior. "Bad dreams down here. Bad memories." Sigvar climbed to his feet. He hadn't thought of his old tribe for years. The lingering fragments of the dream slipped away, leaving Sigvar with a deep sense of unease. "It is time," said Halla. And so they began their final descent. There was nothing below them now but madness and cold and darkness and dread. What dwells below waited, just as it had, for millennia. The primordial darkness. To understand what lies at the bottom of the abyss, one must first understand the void. It is not a place, but an absence, an unrealm of silent endlessness, nothingness, and existed before creation. The beings that drifted within it, the Watchers, were roused from their timeless slumber by an intolerable pulse of reality. Let me play this theme. I always felt like this is just the Watcher theme. Oh, I gotta sign in. Jeez. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. I always felt like that's just the Watcher's theme. The entities watched, they scrutinized, and soon enough the Watchers found themselves being scrutinized in return. The tiny mortal minds that reached out to them were insignificant. Yet in them, the Watchers saw a chance to invade the material realm, to destroy it, to silence the intolerable pulsing of reality beyond the void. That's from Vel'Koz's biography. It was Lysandra who answered the call. She struck a deal with these alien entities, trading servitude for near immortality herself and her sisters, Avarosa and Cirilda. I should just be playing, but that's her art for League of Legends. When they discovered this pact, they rebelled. Faced with the void erupting into the world, Lysandra made a terrible choice. You can see in this image, Lysandra, Avarosa, and Cirilda went and met up with the Yetis, who are the creators of True Ice. They were gifted the heart of Anivia, who's another champion, The only place that true ice comes from is the magic of the Yetis. So Lysandra, Avarosa, and Zeroda came to the Yetis, explained to them that the void is here, you know, it's coming, these are the Watchers. Look how sad they are, you know. And then the Yetis look upset too. And so you can see Avarosa, Zeroda, and Lysandra all marching. You can see some tentacles coming out on the left side. They're going to battle the void. But Lysandra instead sacrificed her sisters and their armies, entombing the Watchers in a prison of true ice, a magical, unbreakable glacier. And you could see that this is the Yetis being sacrificed. He pulls all their power and magic out of them, killing them, really, and then using that power to create true ice. And you could see like Yeti spirits floating around their home when you play that, and you play like Song of Nunu. The Howling Abyss is that prison, and the Frostguard are its unwitting jailers. Their annual mission is not a pilgrimage, but an inspection of the cage. The Frostguard don't even know what they're guarding. These guys are like blind loyalty to Lysandra. Like they don't care what she says. As she says it, that's what happens, and that's pretty much it. Like there's no argument there. Oh, I want to read the art for this image. I should have put it in the picture in the article. I'll add it later. But look how this image reads. It's really cool. Where is it? Holding back the darkness. At key points throughout the Howling Abyss, gigantic spiked barricades of stone and iron were set into the walls by the Frostguard many thousands of years ago. One day, when the Watchers reawaken, these meager defenses may buy some precious time for those above to prepare for the final battle. Look how massive these things are. The Hall of Nine. Let's get After what feels like an eternity, the trio reaches the bottom of their descent. They land on a floor of pure, true ice, a substance harder than iron that never melts. The silence here is absolute and overbearing, a stark contrast to the howling winds above. The cold is a palpable force, a pain with every breath that only an iceborn could endure. They move through the narrow crevice into a vast bowl-like cavern. Here stand 9 massive pillars of black ice arranged in a circle, their purpose immediately clear to Sigvar. This is the Hall of the Nine, the sacred anchor points of the Watcher's prison. You could see like these 9 points, and what these are they're actually mortis stones. These sleek daggers of frozen granite, over 100 feet in length, are weapons of last resort when a Watcher stirs from its slumber. The Frostguard have not needed to drop even a single stone in many centuries, but they stand ready to do so whenever the alarm is raised. And one note that isn't in this story that I think I might add later. Let me hold on. Freljord. One note in this story that I might add later is that the ceiling of this area is like completely open. It's not closed off from the top. Like they look up and it just looks empty, perhaps from something getting thrown down a long time ago. So odds are these mortis stones were thrown down, like literally through the ground all the way down to the Watchers. The ice underfoot is unnervingly transparent, like a black mirror, and a great shadow lurks in the depths beneath. As they prepare to inspect the pillar, Olar gives the young warrior a grim warning. "Do not let your gaze linger on it," warned Olar. "It is not a good thing to look upon." Despite his best efforts, the presence below tugs at Sigvar's mind. A heavy pressure builds in his skull, and the oppressive silence seems to muffle his sense until he is lost in a fog. Without realizing how, he finds himself standing in the center of the circle, gazing down. What stares back is a horror beyond comprehension. Hey stream, yo, what up Como? We are doing the story of the Watchers. My favorite short story in all of Runeterra. And I think this will definitely end up being a raid one day, with us descending into the Howling Abyss, very far into the RIOT MMO. But yeah, what stares back is a horror beyond comprehension. You could literally see this image is Sigvar He somehow got lost in a fog, ends up in the middle of the room, staring down at this eye that's just staring back at him. An immense eye stared back at him, unblinking. Sigvar's soul recoiled, screaming inwardly, yet he was unable to look away. There was life and a vast, unknowable intelligence in that stare. It saw him. Its gaze bored into him, through him, and he felt his sanity begin to unravel. He is saved by Olar, who grabs him by the collar and hauls him back, dumping him unceremoniously on the ice. The trance is broken, but the psychic assault continues, trying to pull his gaze back to the eye. Olar's heavy fist snaps across Sigvar's jaw. Don't look at it. The veteran's humor is gone, replaced by a ruthless chill. He turns to Hala, who has risen from a frantic prayer. He is not strong enough, Olar said. He should go back. Sigvar's protests, insisting he can continue, but Hala's judgment is as cold and sharp as the abyss itself. Her command reveals the true, unforgiving nature of their duty. If he falters again, kill him, said Hala. Go, check the pillars. The threat hangs in the frozen air. No corpse can be left behind, lest the void consume it. Shaken, but with his resolve hardened by the brutal reality of their mission, Sigvar vows not to fail again, and follows his companions to inspect the pillars, his eyes now averted from the terrifying presence below. Sigvar approaches the next pillar alone. Something is wrong. The air is still, and the pillar is slick with moisture. It edges around and smooth. Its edges are round and smooth. It is melting. Before he can process the danger, a profound and unnatural calm washes over him. He sees a flicker of movement within the black ice. It isn't threatening, it's inviting. Dimly, he heard a shout from behind him, but it barely registered. All that mattered was the blackness in the ice before him. It was calling him, whispering to him, urging him closer. The shadows were no longer just the periphery of his vision. Now they were all he saw. He reached out toward... A hand yanks him back. It's Hala. The spell is broken, and Sigvar watches in horror as the darkness thrashes within the reeking and Sigvar watches in horror as the darkness thrashes within its weakening prison. Hala places her hand over the breach, chanting a catechism of faith as cold light glows from her palm, attempting to refreeze the true ice. But it isn't enough. A spider web of crack erupts from the pillar's surface. With a sharp crack, a tendril of living darkness spears out. Olar is there in an instant, shouldering Hala aside and smashing it with Thunderchild. But 3 more tendrils burst from the rupture, and he swats one away, but the other 2 pierce his neck and shoulder, biting deep. Olar Stonefist's muscles ripple, and the unearthly tentacles writhe into him. His veins turn black, starkly visible through his pale skin, and he dropped to his knees. Sigvar made to grab him, but Hala pulled him back. No, she shouted. It will claim you too. Even as the void consumes him, the veteran warrior's duty is his final thought. With his last strength, Olar tosses his hammer across the ice to them. Go, he gasped. Get word to the citadel. Sigvar watches, frozen in impotent horror, as a sickening transformation begins. A segmented, insect-like shell spreads across Olar's flesh, and a purple light pulses within his chest like a second, foul heartbeat. Something is growing inside him. With an anguished cry, Hala hurls her axe, Bloodclaw. It strikes Olar between the eyes, killing him instantly. A final, brutal act of mercy. The true ice of the axes immediately begins to encase the corpse in frost, stalling the horrific growth. We leave it, Hala said, her voice strained. We have to go, now. She points not to the safe path around the edge, but directly across the center of the cavern, over the great eye slumbering beneath the ice. Too slow, she barked. Across the middle, go! Every step is a battle. Sigvar can feel the malign psychic pressure of the Watcher, its gaze boring into him, whispering to him, willing him to look down. He tightens his grip on the agonizing cold of Thunderchild and croaks the Frostguard litanies to keep his sanity intact. After an eternity, they scramble across, the pressure lessening as they reach the exit. Just before they flee, Sigvar glances back. In the frozen corpse of Olar Stonefist, he thinks he sees a faint purple light pulse one last time. Please continue. Don't let a message interrupt your chain of thought. No, it's all good. Hey, what's up? Yo, what up, Genshin? Yep. So, that was pretty dramatic. That's a pretty dramatic part. Olar Stonefist is a great character. I hope there's a monument to him in the Riot MMO. Olar should be honored. He's an absolute legend. A desperate escape. As they flee, the abyss births a new horror. Far below, the shell that once was Olar Stonefist shatters. The shell that had been Olar Stonefist cracked open with a wet tear, and a pale thing spilled forth in a tumble of hissing ichor and segmented limbs. It lifted its head high, and a keening birth scream ripped from its throat. And this is what Voidborn look like when they're first born. They're kind of just an amalgamation of like limbs. Just like how the Watchers were when they first enter into reality. It's almost like they rail against existence. They're not meant to be. You know, they're like, look at this thing with its arms and it's pulling down the mountain. It's like it doesn't know what to do with itself. It's crashing into the ground. Whenever the void kind of comes into reality, it's not in its final form like how you see the champions, the like Vel'Koz or whatnot. They come in almost haphazard, like a bunch of flesh and chitin just trying to take a shape. And they usually have like a white tinge to them. And so that's what we're seeing here. It's something like this at this point, just like pieces of limbs kind of trying to organize itself. Armored in darkness, some legends suggest that when the first emerge into Runeterran air, the Voidborn are generally pale, fibrous, and flexible. As they age, sections of their form harden into a darker shell-like chitin, which can become strong enough to turn aside almost any weapon. I have some interesting rumors about League of Legends. There are rumors that a Genshin Impact style in League of Legends Universe game is being developed by a new Riot studio in Shanghai. I'd be interested. If you have any links to that, send them my way and I'll take a look. Oh, it's a bit loud, my background music. But yeah, if you have any links to that, send them my way and I'll take a look. The inhuman shriek echoes up the chasm, and the chase begins. The newborn Voidborn scrambles up the ice wall with vile, sinuous speed. Its 12 glowing eyes fixed on them. They climb frantically, knowing they are helpless on the sheer face of the abyss. They reach the haunted expanse of the Bridge of the Lost, just as the creature closes in. Hala makes a swift decision. Word must reach the Citadel. "We will climb, Half-Quiver," she said, pointing at him with Bloodfang. No discussion. "Go," she roared, with such fury that Sigvar took a step back, and he reluctantly began to climb. Hala turned to face the monster scuttling up the bridge. "Here, you ugly beast. Come to me and let me smite you down by the will of the three." Hala fights with the ferocity of a winter storm, dodging scything talons and hacking into the creature's hide. But the monster is unnaturally fast. It darts forward, impaling her forearm with a bladed limb and forcing her to drop her axe. Seeing her trapped, Sigvar makes a choice. With a roar, he rips his picks from the ice and leaps. He falls 30 feet, landing hard on the bridge, Thunderchild already in his hands. Hala, despite her wound, clutches the creature's impaled limb, holding it fast. "Strike, Half-Quiver," she yells. Sigvar brings the hammer around in a devastating arc, half pulping the creature's head and sending it staggering. He charges, and a final thunderous blow smashes its glowing heart. The beast sails over the edge of the bridge, and it's swallowed by the fog. They are victorious, but Hala's arm is lost. The flesh around the wound is dark and steaming as the void's corruption spread through her veins. Knowing what must be done, she gives a final command. It is not spread beyond your arm, he said. It may not. Hala stared up at him, eyes clear and devoid of fear. Then she nodded. Do it, she said. Using her remaining true ice axe, Bloodfang, Sigvar amputates her arm, the magical cold instantly cauterizing the wound, saving her life. A chilling revelation. For 3 days, Sigvar climbs. For 3 days, he carries an unconscious Hala on his back, and for 3 days he feels the cold, patient hunger of the watchers below. I think this next part does a great job of really showing like the watchers and how they think and how they like look into Runeterra. He felt the ravenous hunger in that gaze, gnawing at him, eating away at his resolve. It did not feel anger or hatred or resentment at its fate. It was dispassionate, uncaring, unknowable, impatient. In a sense, that made it even more horrific. He finally pulls himself onto the bridge of sorrows, his strength all but gone. Through the swirling ice storm, a figure awaits him. The frost priest, Ralaka Split-Tongue. The priest's gaze takes in the exhausted warrior, the unconscious Hala, in the absence of their third. Stonefist? He asked. Sigvar, too exhausted for words, simply shook his head. It's melting, Sigvar managed, his breath ragged. One of the 9. Something emerged. The priest's eyes widen, but not with simple terror. There is something else in his expression. A dark awe, a grim purpose. The watchers stir, breathed the priest. Our revered mistress, the Lady of Ice and Darkness, must be informed, said the priest. The immense gates of the citadel ground open, the shadows within beckoning. Come, Iceborn, we must prepare for what is to come. In that moment, Sigvar understands. He has returned not just as a survivor, but as a witness to the Frostguard's terrible secret duty. They are not merely disciples. They are the wardens of an apocalyptic prison. Their living saint, Lysandra, is not a benevolent goddess, but an immortal jailer, desperately holding shut a cage that contains the end of the world. And now, that cage is breaking. The ice is melting. And that's the story of the Watchers in the Howling Abyss. I think that's probably one of the greatest stories in all of Runeterra lore. I hope I did it justice. It's definitely going to be a raid one day. There's going to be a day when we climb down to the bottom of the Howling Abyss. And I hope it's someday very far in the future and it's done like, what it should be. I do feel like the Song of Nunu game, I really liked it, but it did do a little bit of damage to like the Eye and the Abyss and the Watchers. So spoiler warning right here. I'll put a timestamp in the YouTube video. If you want to click away from the stream, that's fine for a little bit and then come back. But if we go to like Song of Nunu, battle with Lysandra. Yeah. So let me just show you guys this. I really, this is like poor quality. Is there like a better one? A League of Legends, Lysandra final scene. Where's the fight? There we go. I think this might be it. It's gonna be doing like commentary. I just want to show the fight. Oh, moments in news. Maybe this has it. Okay, yeah, this is good. Okay.
There's too many of them, Willem. Where's an avalanche?
So they go down. They literally climb down to the bottom of the Howling Abyss. So after the story that I just told you, right? Like the story that I just told you that really I think like does a good job of showing the Howling Abyss and all that. These guys fall into the Howling Abyss. Not even.
So underrated.
Yeah, they literally fall into it. Fall onto the bridge. They wake up. Keep in mind, this was like, you know, how many miles down? Like the whole story took so long to get down there. These guys just fell down there, and it's like not even that deep.
Well,
Look.
Whatever's down here, we'll face it together.
No Freljord.
And they just walked through this little tunnel. But this is like that small crevice that they walked through in the story. They walk through. They enter the bowl, right? The bowl that I was talking about, the Hall of the Nine. And Lyssandra's just standing there.
My trial.
You can see like the 9 pillars around her. And literally, when they walk in, I think you can see, yeah.
Don't know yet, but we'll
Where's
find
the
it
eye?
together.
You're literally fighting, and the eye is just, oh, right there. That was it.
There's always no problem.
Look at the eye.
Has one or two easy solutions.
Like Nunu and
There's
Willem are
always
just
a
chilling there, and Lysandra literally just popped down there by herself. Why the heck is she sending Frostguard down there to look? It's like, and the whole time you're fighting, this eye is just looking around, like watching. I really hated it. I love Song of Nunu. I think it's a great game, but this scene, after you guys have like heard the story of the Watchers and all that, I feel like it does kind of dampen their effect, and I think that they're one of the most important stories in Runeterra. So we're going to end up doing a playthrough of that. Okay. Spoiler warning over. But yeah, I really didn't like that part. I think it did some damage. And they said, oh, you know, it's all canon. I think they're going to renege on that and say it's soft canon, because if Lysandra can just pop down there, if you can literally just fall onto the bridge, then you'd have to make the Eye in the Abyss not canon, and I think it's one of the greatest stories in Runeterra. I feel like the art style doesn't show the horror or true scale of the void. Yeah, it doesn't at all. Oh, the Riot Shanghai job posting about secret R&D project. Okay, let me check. Riot Games jobs. Let's see. Select a product. Where is it? Oh, select the office. I can just probably check. Berlin, Germany. Shanghai, China. Game design contract. Insights, analytics coordinator, publishing, live event, workspace experience, production group. That's Riftbound. Art, design, senior game product manager. Riot would it be under Riot Discovery? Riot Shanghai posting about a secret R&D project. Software engineering, product management. So it's one of these. I just don't know which one it is. Is it Riot Discovery? It wouldn't be 2XK. It wouldn't be entertainment. Esports, no. It wouldn't be MMO. Would it? I'd love to see an MMO job. Right, I think it'd be Riot Discovery, right? Game designer, combat, senior 3D environment artist, VFX artist, technical artist. You can see maybe that one. But I think this project might not be the same as MMO because it's developed by a different studio. Oh yeah, no, it wouldn't be. But it's possible that it might replace Project F. Yeah, I remember Project F. Someone was talking to me about Reddit and showing me like some footage of it. Let me see if I can pull up that comment, that conversation again, because he was, I think it was it Zedria? Party SR. Yeah, Party SR was hooking me up with some cool stuff. This person apparently worked on Project F. Oh, what the heck? Oh, what the heck? This was available before. Yo, is it gone now? Oh my gosh. Well, this stuff used to have stuff that showed Project F, like images and everything that this person had worked on. And now it's gone. Like you can't see it anymore. Whoa, that's kind of telling. I wish I had saved all that stuff. Dang. Well, that had some like project, it had like Shuriman rooftops and stuff like that. I'm sure someone saved it. There was like some videos of it and stuff. Yeah, that's how it looked. That's how it looked. There was like some videos and some art. It's like a top-down view and they're fighting. Man, well, that's crazy. I'd have to translate this page. I'm not sure how. Huge. I feel like the art style doesn't show. Yeah, it doesn't in Song of Nunu. Yeah, no, it doesn't. That's part of the problem too. But it's also like the overall story that they showed in Song of Nunu and how they presented the Watchers, and you know, the fact that they're just fighting over the Eye in the Abyss compared to Sigvar, who's a Frostguard, who's a Iceborn, like feeling his consciousness and his sanity be lost. It's more accurate. I think Riot Forge was a failure in terms of story expansion. I think in the future they might be more serious about expanding on a few big games rather than making a lot of games. Yeah, I think Riot Discovery. Okay, I'm gonna look at Riot Discovery. I gotta translate this page. How do I translate? Usually it just comes up like right up here. Oh, no. How do I, translate? English. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, for Riot Forge, I think Riot Forge, at the end of the day, what it was that you're going to be using indie studios, right? This is indie studios making these games. You know, Convergence, Hextech Mayhem, Song of Nunu, Rune King, The Mage Seeker. All of these games are done by indie studios. With an indie studio, at the end of the day, they don't work for Riot Games. It's a separate studio from Riot. And so you can only tell them what to do so much. Like, you can guide them a little bit. You can tell them this is how the story has to go. You can tell them at times like, oh no, this won't work. But you can't just like completely force them to do what you want, because it's not your studio. It's an indie studio and you're contracting out the game to them. And so, like, for example, like that fight with Song of Nunu, maybe they felt like it shouldn't have been in there, but it's not your game. It's, you know, what is it? What's that studio again? Tequila Works, that's what they were. It's Tequila Works' game. And so you can guide them, but you can't take, you know, complete control on the project. And so I think that while they liked Riot Forge, it's just the story wasn't matching. Like, the closest to canon I'd say would be Mage Seeker. Mage Seeker felt pretty canon. Bandletale is literally an alternate universe. Convergence is an alternate universe. Hextech Mayhem's got nothing to do with the lore. Song of Nunu, they said, is canon, but I think they're going to renege on that before the Riot mode, because it does a little bit of damage to the Watchers, who are very important to Runeterra. And the Rune King is pretty close to canon too. It can be canon, it wouldn't make a difference. What they should renege on is the Sentinels of Light event. That was pretty bad. But let's find this Project F role. But that's why I think Riot Forge they stopped making games. It's just because they couldn't control the lore in the way they want. And at the end of the day, we as like a community of usually Riot game lore fans, like at the end of the day, those are the people that are watching. Like, my community is all people who care about Runeterra mostly, and Runeterra lore or Arcane. So the people that are invested in like the community understand, oh, what's canon and what isn't. But I can guarantee you a random player, a random person who doesn't watch YouTube, is not like in the loop, is not going to look at Convergence and think to himself, is it canon or isn't it canon? He's going to think it's canon, 100%. He's not going to look at the Bandletale and think it's not canon. He's going to say, oh wow, so Yordles use yarn to traverse the Bandlewoods and to travel between portals. The Mage Seeker, when he reads a note, he's going to assume that it's 100% canon. No, they're not going to play these games thinking it's in an alternate universe, something like that. Not going to lie, I was completely underwhelmed with Song of Nunu. The rest of Riot Forge, I think, did the lore justice. Really, I think Song of Nunu was a great game. It just, the ending got me. I really liked the flute mechanic and all that stuff. But I'm also a big fan of Yooka-Laylee, and it kind of gave me those vibes. I don't know if you guys ever played Yooka-Laylee. The first one, man, that was great. Yooka-Laylee, the first one, was really good. And it gave me those vibes. Convergence is definitely on an alternate timeline, though. Like, it's confirmed in the end cinematic. Oh, except for that scene with Ornn, that was good. Yeah, the Ornn stuff was amazing. Ornn looks so good in Song of Nunu. Man. Ornn looks so freaking good in Song of Nunu.
Seen so much lava.
Where is he? Yeah, look at Ornn.
Furnace doesn't seem to be
His model
working
was
right.
great in Song of Nunu.
I see. Yes. This
really quiet, but yeah. I thought the Ornn model was freaking great in Song of Nunu. Same with Volibear. I thought they did great with Volibear. It's literally just the Watchers. That's the only gripe I had with Song of Nunu. If they did the Watchers well, which I just don't think they should have gone down there and fought. I think it would have been 10 out of 10. Oh, let's see Project F. There's apparently a new project. A brand new game League is used from the ground up, including worldview, art style, audio, atmosphere. So they're really like, this is even earlier stages than the MMO. Let me get a sip of coffee. There's another thing that I want to talk to you guys about too. And it's related to World of Warcraft. We are seeking a game creative director currently working on a project to lead a multidisciplinary team. Okay. So this is just saying that he's going to develop a new game. But that doesn't really help us understand what the heck they're doing. Game design, combat, that might help. Translate. Let's see. Game design and tuning, optimizing your analytics skill. As a combat engineer, research and development team responsible for an early stage product. Help shape and iterate player-centric design. Hands-on work. I don't see anything that's like really telling me what the game is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything that tells me that it's going to be like a Genshin Impact style game. It's just saying, you know, comfortable working as a game designer. I'm pretty sure that Riot Shanghai's new game is guaranteed to be like Genshin Impact, as the style is very popular in China. I wonder if you like it. I mean, I've never played Genshin Impact, so I wouldn't know. If it's pay to win, I wouldn't like it, but I'm not sure. I've never played it. 3D environment artist. So it looks like they're definitely working on something in the Shanghai, China studio. I don't think it's related to the RIOT MMO because that's being developed in America. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like there's a project coming up. It just doesn't. I'm having trouble figuring out what it is. But I know Project F, I think, flopped or something like that. And yeah, they're showing like Genshin Impact versus the Project F. Oh, this is the RIOT MMO. I really like this website. If it loads. There we go. Project F look like Genshin Impact now. On January 30th, content creator Big Bear discovered a revealing Riot Games employee LinkedIn experience summary, further published a YouTube video summarizing what he could mean. The Riot Games product question. Riot Games action RPG might include these features and more. Multiplayer action RPG and art. When did this article come out? When was this published? This is like back in 2024. This is what Project F was really. It's a third person, like top-down view. Have a campaign, you know, that kind of thing. Zones and levels. I thought it was more like Diablo, the way it looked. It's a roguelike. Yeah, I like Project F gave me Diablo vibes. I don't know if that's even close to Genshin Impact. I've literally never played Genshin Impact in my life. I've just seen people play it. Isn't Genshin Impact like a third person though? It looks third person, yeah. It's like a third person MMO. It looks like anime style. Very anime. Which I'm a big fan of anime. I do like One Piece. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's a third person game. I feel like that's kind of different from Project F, isn't it? Project F is top-down Diablo-looking game. And Diablo... I mean, I never played Diablo 4, but that looks closer to this, to me. I quit Genshin because of the walls of text. I wouldn't mind if it was actually interesting text, but in general, I prefer show more than tell. Also, the fetch quest felt so tedious and repetitive. Okay, well, that's not a good sign. Yeah, I've never played Genshin Impact at all. But the Project F definitely looks more like this to me. It doesn't look like Genshin Impact in any way. And even with like saying it's a Genshin Impact style game, I don't think the style is going to be like this. It's not going to be like anime style, you know? But maybe the overall like model of it. And I don't mind games that come from overseas. By the way, I think Wild Rift, I have more fun playing Wild Rift than I do League of Legends. I feel like it just looks better too. And I've never minded the cosmetic stuff as much. Like, I always felt like if I see someone who bought a cosmetic, I just don't care. But someone came up with a great idea. I'm going to talk about it another time on YouTube. We were talking through like potential pay models for the Riot MMO. And someone was saying that, oh, you can like have just the helmet at least where you can't purchase it on the store, or like the weapon cannot be purchased on the store and cannot be transmogged. That way you can instantly see, you know, what level people are and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting. Okay, where's that? I think it was... I want to talk to you guys about this. Was it Wowhead who tweeted it out? Let me see. Yeah. Where is it? I just saw it. Yeah, okay. I want to talk to you guys about trust. I really want to talk to you guys about trust because I think it's really important for that MMO, and you can lose it quick. And I'll explain to you guys exactly where I kind of lost trust in World of Warcraft. And I think this was the start of me leaving, and why I left World of Warcraft was this, because I was like so kind of bummed out by it. First, I always feel like whenever I want to talk about the Riot MMO, I want Rise to show. I feel like Rise is just the Khadgar of the Riot MMO. But the Violet Spellwing was the mount reward for the Head of the Curve Argus the Unmaker achievement back in Legion. This is the first Ahead of the Curve mount that is currently coming out of retirement with Legion Remix, allowing players a second chance to obtain it. Now, what's Ahead of the Curve? Ahead of the Curve means that like you can get a mount. So there's different levels. There's like normal, heroic, mythic, whatever in World of Warcraft, you know. Colors. Red. Okay, there's like normal, heroic, mythic, and these are all progressively harder raids. So it's the same raid over and over and over again. If you can kill the mythic boss ahead of like a certain timeline, so before it, before like something comes out, I think it's like, what is it? Before, I mean, you can't do it before like the next patch. So basically, eventually mythic will be easy. Like you can go back and do a mythic raid from not classic WoW, but whenever mythic came out. So you can go back and do a mythic raid from freaking Mist of Pandaria or Worlds of Draenor. And it's easy now. So you're not going to get ahead of the curve. Ahead of the curve means you're ahead of the standard curve of people. Like most people are not getting it done here, and then eventually everyone starts getting it done because it becomes easy because everyone's gear gets past it. If you can beat it before this point, before that, then you get ahead of the curve and you get this awesome, you know, mount, which is really cool. And you could show it off and be like, man, you know, I did that ahead of everyone else. For Legion, it was the Violet Spellwing, which is an awesome mount, very cool. You know, people liked it. I wanted it. I didn't get it. But if you're a mage, you know, that's a really cool mount that you could get. World of Warcraft is basically saying that, oh, even though you didn't get it in Legion, now they're offering the same mount for Legion Remix. In my opinion, I'm going to be very honest, this is freaking lazy as heck. So they're basically saying the head of the curve now doesn't matter because okay, great, you got it. You completed this, good job. But now Legion Remix, which is basically you can go back to Legion and play in a similar way than it was then, like similar difficulty level. You can earn ahead of the curve again, but that's not the case. Ahead of the curve has to be when the freaking raid is live. Now you could do this and release another mount, a different mount, perhaps a color variation if you wanted. Even a color variation, in my opinion, is a little bit sketch because it's too close to the original, and this is supposed to be for people that truly worked hard and accomplished this back in Legion. So doing it now is kind of like an insult to those people. Even a color variation, I feel like is a little bit like it's pretty effed up, but not as bad as literally offering the exact same mount. but still pretty bad. If they wanted to do something like this where they offer a mount for completing Mythic and Legion Remix, it had to be a different mount. This is just too lazy to create a real mount, too lazy to invest. They don't want to hire an artist to do it, hire the animator, and so instead they just offered the same mount again. And I think that this is like a true sign of just degeneracy. I freaking hate it. And that's just one example now of like a loss of trust, right? They gave you ahead of the curve. You worked hard for it. You earned it. It's now a unique mount for you. And now everyone's going to go back and get it again just because Blizzard doesn't want to create a new mount. And don't forget about the Project T and the Call of... Yeah, there's supposed to be a Valorant like MMO FPS. I can create an article for you guys on like all the unannounced project, and we'll include this Genshin Impact like one. Not great for casuals, and I don't like FOMO tactics in games. I feel like the company is disrespecting people who can't play 18 hours a day, like YouTubers and streamers. I mean, YouTubers and streamers are always going to be ahead of everyone. It's just the way it works, just because they play so much. Like a guy who's invested in Arena, like gets paid to play Arena because he's that good, is going to continue to get better because, you know, he's literally investing his entire time. Oh, wait, I don't want that. Literally investing his entire time into it, you know? Like he's investing his time daily where you don't have that because you're not paid to play. That's just the way games work. I think it'll always work like that. I mean, me, for example, I got a day job, right? I wish I could stream longer, but that's just not the world I live in right now. I got to start work at 9 o'clock. But hopefully one day. They don't know how to build hype for Legion, even though I think doing remixes is wrong. I think the remix system is pretty cool in World of Warcraft. I like how they're revitalizing old content, letting you go back and play it. I like that you can go back and do Mage Tower and get like those alternate skins. Mage Tower I thought was awesome. It's just like you can't do this where you renege on old behavior. So people got ahead of the curve during Legion. You can't just offer the mount again. If you want to offer a different mount, you can, but the same amount is a horrible practice. And I'm going to explain to you guys where I felt like I really lost trust in Blizzard with this kind of thing. But the old MMO like WoW and Final Fantasy are getting less and less popular every day. I feel like the MMO genre is slowly dying. If there is no game that revolutionized the industry, Riot Reset Project. Yeah, I mean, that's how... You got to remember, when World of Warcraft came out, the MMO genre was for nobody. Like, let's be real. It wasn't for the casual player at all. Pretty much no one was playing MMOs. Like, it was a very small group of people, very niche. World of Warcraft brought it to the casual player. And now it's just like... I feel like it needs another revitalization. The problem with MMOs, it's not like FPS shooters or MOBAs or stuff like that, where it's easy to update or new games are coming out all the time. They're very expensive. They're very difficult to make. And so it's not as like, there's not as much churn in MMOs. So I think we've definitely reached a stagnation point. Absolutely. But where did I lose trust in World of Warcraft, which is something that they cannot do. Like Riot cannot do. Like once you lose trust, it's very hard to get it back. It was back in BFA, PvB, Toys, Fund, Arena, Prize Pool. I think it was that. Battle for Azeroth. Yeah, BlizzCon Esports Prize Pool. Participate in the Arena World Champion Open Bracket. No. Who remembers sale proceeds would go to increase the prize pool? Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was Toys. BFA Toys go to Arena prize pool. I think they did it with Pet too. I wanted to support Arena, and I remember I bought the toy or whatever. My brother bought the toy too. Yeah, it was something like this. You can now directly contribute toward this year's final LAN event prize pool for Arena World Champions and the Mythic Dungeon International by purchasing 2 new toys. There are a minimum prize pool of 250 USD for each event of your purchase of the new toys. 25% proceeds will contribute to the final prize pool through October 15th. So it was something like this. And what they did in BFA was that you can purchase the prize pool, and they said, oh, you know, the money will go towards the creating the prize pool for Arena. What I thought they were going to do was add it on top of the already existing prize pool. So like, how do I do this? No, not get colors. Edit colors. Can I just do this again? No? No, I can just do that. Okay, whatever. I thought it was going to be added on to the prize pool. So basically, Blizzard was giving, let's say, like 100 grand. Blizzard was giving like 100K for the Arena prize pool, let's say. And then they were selling these toys. So I'm going to draw like a toy, a little car. Look at that car. That's a toy. People love cars, toy cars. I loved toy cars when I was a kid. That looks exactly like a toy car. And then people would buy these toys, and I thought that when you purchased the toy, you know, it would go into the prize pool. CE. Okay, CE. Oh wait, do I do control? I need to get faster at this. Control C? No? I don't know. It's not working. So I thought that, okay, you know, people bought like 20K worth of these toys, then the prize pool would become 120K, right? That's what I thought. I was like, oh yeah, they'll be adding to the prize pool. That's cool. I want the Arena to do well. I care about World of Warcraft Arena, so I'm going to purchase it. And so I purchased it. Now, what happened was they sold like freaking 150K's worth of these toys. And what Blizzard did was, instead of taking their 100K and combining it and making the prize pool at 250K, which I was like, oh man, this is going to be an awesome Arena. It's going to really like turn up. People are going to be excited about it. They said, oh no, you guys misunderstood. We give 100K, but you guys went over that. Great job. So now the prize pool is 100K for Arena. And obviously we're pocketing the 50K. So they took the 50K. That went back to Blizzard. And they offered still the same 100K for Arena. And they pocketed like whatever was left over because we went over. Something like either that or it was a 150K prize pool. Either way, Blizzard basically gave nothing for the Arena prize pool that year. And they just made the players fund it. And it was the most cruddy thing ever. I wish I could see the announcement because I truly believed that it was, I think it might have been this. It was 25% of proceeds contribute toward the final prize pool. Yeah, see? It was like, it said something like that. Proceeds will contribute toward the final prize pool through October 15th. Something like that. And I was like, okay, contribute. That means we're working with you to increase the prize pool for Arena. And instead, it's like, okay, so now we just funded it ourselves and just saved Blizzard money. I was so pissed at this. And that's really where I started to lose trust and in Blizzard. And I think I started playing less after that. I was really annoyed. And this is another example of losing trust. Like, you offered ahead of the curve. People are going to be less incentivized to get ahead of the curve now with this move. Because why are you going to get ahead of the curve? Probably Blizzard's going to release it again in a Legion remix. And so who cares? What does it matter? Long story short, double standard and scam. Yeah, exactly. Double standard and scam. But you shouldn't do that as a company, especially when you're representing a game. As long as it's not something that takes away from the casual player. I feel like the old MMO, so long as it's not something that takes away from the casual player experience, I think it's okay to give the based exclusive rewards. They just shouldn't give non-cosmetic items, such items that ain't kept gameplay. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There's one thing, right? With an MMO, the more you invest, the better you're going to get. So at the end of the day, the guy that's investing a ton of time in mining, right? He just goes around mining nodes all day. He's going to be a better blacksmith. The guy that goes into Arena and plays PvP all day, he's going to be better at PvP. The guy who goes into the raids is going to be better at raiding, and he's going to get better gear. And you have to get progressively stronger for your feats. Like, that's kind of an incentive in MMOs to become stronger. So like, you're working hard to get stronger so that you can do other things. And so I don't know how you can not reward them with strength or items that impact gameplay, if that's what you mean. I don't think that's what you meant, Como. I think I'm not understanding 100% what you're saying, but I do agree that you know, you can't take away from the casual player experience. The game needs to be built for casuals. Like World of Warcraft was originally built for the casual player. That's really what it was, and that's why it did so well. But you can't take away from the casual experience, but you also need to create a game for the hardcore player as well. And Riot makes another MMO to MMO FPS and Valorant universe. Yeah, they are. They're making, so right now Riot has like a couple projects. I need to figure out a better way to do this other than like freaking backtracking. I think Riot has, right, Project F, which is like Genshin Impact. They have a couple projects. I'm actually not going to draw it out because I don't even know all the project letters. But yeah, they have a Genshin Impact one. They have a what's it called? Now we know that they have a Genshin Impact one in China. They have an MMO FPS one, which is like set in Valorant universe, which is supposed to be like another MMORPG kind of thing, but a shooter. So think like, what's that game's name? It's like a shooter MMO. Is it Destiny? Yeah, Destiny. So think like Destiny or Warframe kind of thing, which is like a third-person shooter. I think Warframe is one too. I know Destiny is for sure. MMORPG kind of shooter. And then there's the MMO, obviously. That's also going to come out. Long story short, yeah, double standard. Okay, I got up all the comments. Yeah, and once you lose trust, it's very hard to get it back. That's the problem. That's the biggest problem. Like if I was pushing ahead of the curve and I was really pushing for all of these ahead of curve mounts and I wanted to get them because I wanted to be ahead of the curve, and then they're just releasing it in Legion Remix, I'd be kind of pissed and feel like I was betrayed a little bit. Because they lie to you, right? What does this say? Ahead of the curve, Argus the Unmaker. Defeat Argus the Unmaker and Antorus the Burning Throne on heroic difficulty or higher before the release of patch 8.0. That's now a lie, because sure you did that, but okay, asterisk, unless we decide to release it in a remix event. But the balance should be so that high level pinnacle boss fight should still be beatable by casuals and not only beatable by whales, big spenders. Yeah, no, absolutely. You should not be able to purchase progression or power, but you should be able to earn it. You should not be able to, you cannot offer purchasing pay to win features. Absolutely not. Whales should not have an advantage over anyone. If you want to spend money on a game and just blow your cash, that's fine, but it shouldn't give you an advantage. Or people who spend more time. I don't know. I think people who spend more time should be better. Should have like an advantage in some way. I agree that people who spend more time should be stronger than someone who doesn't, for sure. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. So someone who spends more time in the game should absolutely like be able to, they should progress farther and be stronger than your casual player just because they've invested more. Same thing in real life, you know? Someone who invests more time to learn and get better and like works to, it's a tough balance for sure, because the casual players still exist. You can't just completely like renege on them, but like you have to balance between rewarding the long-term player who plays a lot with the casual player. And the problem is then you offer like catch-up mechanics, which are like you know, like you make the raid progressively easier over time, or you start offering difficulties. In World of Warcraft, we said they had. So here's what I'm getting at. In World of Warcraft, you have these raid difficulties, which are normal, heroic, mythic. Oh, wait. Sorry. You have LFR, which is looking for raid, which is the easiest brain dead version of a raid that you can have. And I don't think it's good for the game. Normal, heroic, and mythic. Now, the reason that they did this is because the casual players. So you have the casual players down here. Man, I keep doing that. We'll click this blue. So these are casual players for C. They're casual. They'll do like LFR, maybe do normal. They won't do heroic or mythic. Then you have like the more hardcore players. Wow, every button but edit colors. You have the more hardcore players. They'll do hardcore, they'll do normal, they'll do heroic, and then maybe they'll do mythic. Then you have like the really intense players. Like these are the people that are degenerates. They'll do normal, heroic, mythic, and they'll do LFR just for transmog. Those are degenerates. The thing is, I don't think this system is good at all. I think LFR should be gone, and I don't think Riot should do like an LFR system for raids. Yeah, let's do like, I need another color. Oh, green. We don't have a green on there. We'll do this green. I don't think they should do an LFR. I think normal, heroic, mythic is fine. I think LFR degraded a lot of the community aspect because LFR is just a bunch of NPCs, and they literally started offering dungeons that you could do with just NPCs. You don't need actual players. It might as well be a bunch of because you're just queuing. You don't have to get the group together. Normal, at least you're like trying to group people together. You need to form the raid, actually talk to people. Someone leaves, you need to find another person. It's not just automatically handled for you. This is just a revolving door of people. That's all it is. You don't matter, no one else matters. I think you have normal, heroic, mythic, but you don't offer like the ability to just form groups. I hate LFD too. The thing is that casual players, you're taking away half their content by taking away LFR, because if someone just wants to log on and do the raid really quickly and they don't have time to form a group, well, LFR is a solution to that because you don't have to form the group anymore. It automatically gets formed for you, and it happens very quickly. We're talking like, this is 1 minute until you're in like actually in the raid and killing stuff versus, you know, like 20 to 30 minutes to form the group. And this is probably like the same thing, 20 to 30. And this is like, you know, an hour to form the group. And you maybe want to even have like a pre-group getting ready for this beforehand. And that's like if you're decent. I mean, we're talking like it might take you even longer. You might not get a group at all if no one invites you. That's why that's like a huge solution for casual players. But I think the Riot MMO, they have to face the MMO competitors. Okay. But I think the Riot MMO, they have to face the MMO competitors. They have to create something unique and different and truly revolutionary, not an old style game. Yeah, that's why they did the reset, is because it was too close to World of Warcraft. They said, like, we created a game, but it's way too close to World of Warcraft, and we need to like, do something different. And so they literally reset the whole game almost, probably except for the art. And so now they're working on that now. The new game. Genshin made the endgame content Spiral Abyss so that only the people who spend thousands of dollars on character constellations can beat max difficulty and get all the rewards. I hate that. Yeah, that's trash. I'm never going to play Genshin Impact just because you said that. I never even give it a chance. Pay to win can't happen. I'm working on an article that we're probably going to go over on Monday. It's the cardinal sins. Where is it? I have Discord. The cardinal sins of I can pull up the, let me see. All bookmarks. Let me go to my Google Drive. I have it in a Google Drive. Pretty much all my stuff is in my Google Drive. My Drive. Scripts. Where is it? Is it this one? Yeah. Riot MMO Cardinal Sins. I said transmog. I don't think they can have transmog in the game. Pay to win. That's like what you're saying, where like, okay, you could pay to advance and get better. Like, you know, you need to pay character constellations to beat max difficulty content. Pay to accelerate does like character boosts. I don't think you should have pay to accelerate, or like buying the battle pass helps you level faster. Bots will destroy the economy. You can't allow bots to just go out and farm resources all the time and flood the market. In-game store, gear, mounts, cosmetics. I think that an in-game store is pretty bad, but I think it's going to happen just because it's a free-to-play game. So I don't know about this one. The thing is, you need to be very selective. Like that person on let me make this a little bit smaller. It's a bit too small. Or can I do like view 2 pages? View. Like, you know, 2 pages side by side. I don't know. Make it a little bit smaller. That's a bit too big. Let's go like 25. There you go. You guys can still read that. Selective. So like, you know, can't buy helmets. or weapons. You know, so that way, at least when you see someone with a badass helmet or weapon, you can recognize immediately like they've done specific content. The battle pass, I was asking, you know, what can you do like with a battle pass? What can you offer if you're not going to offer gear, mounts, cosmetics? Someone said emotes, which I thought was really good. VFX skills, someone said. They said a bunch of stuff in Discord. So if you guys want to help me create this list before the article, they said look at PoE. Decoration, player housing stuff. Player housing stuff, like who cares, you know? But at the same time, like I do want you to walk into someone's player house and recognize, you know, oh wow, they've done this raid or done this content. But, you know, a battle pass has to count for something. And it was literally impossible free to play at some point, no matter how much time you invest to beat the hardest endgame content. Yeah, that's never okay. If it's going to be pay to win, it's trash. Pay to win is I should put that at the top. Freaking number one. Pay to win. Dishonesty with player base. I think AOTC. I think that's a cardinal sin. That's what happened. The thing is, I'm putting up there because that's what happened to me. That's the main reason why I feel like I stopped playing World of Warcraft was literally this event. I bought the firework. I don't buy anything from the in-game store. You look at my account, I have no like store mounts or anything like that. It's just a box price. That's what I pay. And then I was like, this is the one thing that I bought because I wanted to support the arena. And then they just took the money, and basically I saved Blizzard money with my purchase. And I was encouraging other people to buy it, man. I was like, oh yeah, buy this. Like let's get the prize pool up, make it a really big prize pool so the arena does better. Ugh. And so I felt like shit because I was literally selling people on it. Yeah, that was horrible. So yeah, that's like, I think losing trust is a big one too. Dishonesty with player base. And now they're doing it with AOTC arena toys. So I'll get like exact links for the article when I do this. But yeah, if there's any other cardinal sins that you guys can think of for an MMO, what Riot cannot do. Oh, battle pets. I think battle pets are cool. In World of Warcraft, you have like these little pets. It's like a useless thing, you know? Like stuff like that doesn't really matter. Where's like pets? Basically, you can farm these pets and you can farm these pets kind of thing, and then you use them for top 5 pet collection. So yeah, you can battle them. Literally, picture Pokemon training, except they're like real pets, you know? Like, look at these guys. And you take them out and you fight, and you can actually queue for like battle pet things, like almost like arena. And you can even like battle your friends. So you find this pet out in the wild, you level it up, and then you fight each other. I always liked it. I realize not a lot of people care for it, but I always thought it was pretty cute. And that kind of thing doesn't matter. So that's absolutely something you can put on the battle pass. So people can go out and they summon their pet. You can walk around with it. It's kind of cool. You can get like a leash for it. You could feed it treats. All that stuff. I don't think there's anything else. There's a bunch of mini games that they could come up with that you could put on the battle pass, like the battle pet system. There's literally dungeons. Picture like a freaking Pokemon trainer. You know, they go to what's it called? the gym battles, almost like that, and you go through, but it's old dungeons. I did it all. I think I hit all of them, honestly. Pay to win, transmog, pay to accelerate, bots will destroy the economy, in-game store, dishonesty with players, AOTC, and arena toys. I think I got it. Pocket full splatter, yeah, this store, yeah. I do think this is really cool, the remix system. I would be playing Rune King, but for some reason every time I play Rune King, like my my audio gets cut out. I know there's an event coming up for TFT. Where is it? Let me see my bookmarks. I think TFT tweeted it out. We're gonna play that. Yeah, look at this. The mountain is calling. Experience TV's all new PvE game mode. AO Shen's Ascent launches September 24th for limited time. Are you ready to climb? Get ready to climb AO Shen's Ascension.
Little legends from the shadow of the mountain.
Yeah, we're gonna play this.
Here's TFT's
Because I'm gonna play it on the iPad, so it won't I won't have to worry about my mic getting...
newest game mode. Here's TFT's newest game mode in less than 60 seconds. Ocean's Ascent is a timerless PvE mode with permanent in-game power progression and a unique guide mechanic. In it, you'll be tasked with climbing a mountain and saving corrupted little legends from the shadow of the mountain. To do so, you'll make your way through different zones, taking on increasingly difficult challenges. What seems impossible at first will become manageable as you unlock powerful upgrades and loot through your journey track, regardless if you win or lose. And in that progression, you'll unlock more guides. Now, I won't sugarcoat it. The higher elevations aren't for the faint-hearted. But with some perseverance, the right guide, and a few game-changing power-ups, maybe, just maybe, you'll reach the summit. All that, though, will have to wait until Ocean's Ascent launches on September 24th.
Yeah. Oh, a little bit more. Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, I always liked the PvE. The reason I started playing Wild Rift was because they released a PvE mode that was like for Callista's, it was Callista's Odyssey event. I thought it was really cool. Obviously, because I'm a fan of the lore. So I will play this. It's just, at least on the iPad. Honestly, this made me feel like I see the MMO everywhere.
Manageable.
Where's that?
Coded.
Yeah, an image. Where is it? Yeah.
Difficult.
Just like I was saying, like, you know, the Howling Abyss, you're diving deeper. I definitely think there will be a raid where Targon, where you're climbing the mountain and you're facing different bosses on the mountain. But at the same time, like, Targon is a deadly place. I mean, climbing Mount Targon is an insane feat. Very rarely do people succeed. People often die climbing the mountain. But, you know, a random group of adventurers? A random group of adventurers? Maybe. Maybe you will climb to the peak of Mount Targon. There'll be a raid here. Acathia as well. I could try Rune King. I'm just worried that if I plug it in, for some reason, every time I plug in the Switch, then I have like a error. You know what? We're gonna try it, but I'm gonna try it instead of hooking it up with like the second HDMI. I'll just have one HDMI going, and then I'll use a different tool here to like view it. So we'll see if that works. Because I do want to continue my playthrough of Rune King. Let's see. All right, unplug this. All right, that's gonna go away now. I will be back. See if that works. Okay. So guys, if my audio gets oh, why is it like that? I feel like it's like squished. Usually it takes up the full screen. Why is it? Hold on. Oh, it is. Okay, never mind. It's just because I'm in a freaking dark room. I'm like, why is it taking not taking up the full screen? Okay, it is. So we need to find the Buhru Temple in Grey Harbor. And we had just finished this part. And you guys can't hear. Okay. Now you guys can hear. Alright. We need to go... Oh, we actually need to go this way. So please let me know if my mic starts getting crackly or whatnot, because I'm trying a different thing to be able to play. Maybe it was like because I had an HDMI out, and now I'm just kind of using something else to do it. Oh. Oh, no, wait, not that. Let's do... Hold on. This. Here we go. Why is that not working? Maybe if I change it to something else and go back. There we go. Okay. Good now. Alright, so we have to watch out for these spikes. Easy enough, they're literally show on the ground. Looks like they've been living here. How can they continue walking around Grey Harbor? How are they surviving the black mist? What a cozy room. Is it like a house? It is like a house I once knew in the Freljord. We saw him run this way. Come. This grain is fresh. That's enough here to feed several people for nearly a week. The torch is unlit. You run your hand underneath the torch and find what feels like a switch. That was easy enough. I forgot that you even do that. A map on the table looks like a layout of Grey Harbor. There are paths drawn on it and notes written off to the side. Several words are misspelled. Nice. A conversation. Would you like to view the tutorial on how to use this menu? When conversations are available between a party member, they will show up in this menu. New conversations will be added for each rest point you discover. A warm breeze.
Enjoying the warm breeze?
The truth. Brom misses the Freljord's cold embrace.
A cold embrace? That does not sound appealing.
The Freljord is a harsh land, but survival has a way of bringing people together. Telling stories by the fire, hunting Elnuk by moonlight. And the Buru? What brings you together?
The mother serpent, the sea. We serve the goddess, and she blesses us with an endless harvest. Many of her blessings are quite delicious.
Ah! Nothing brings people together like a delicious meal. In the Freljord, a mighty warrior named Olaf once felled a great frost serpent and made it into a stew. It fed his whole village for months.
Now you've made me hungry.
Then follow Brom's stomach. Let us see what we find.
Brom freaking loves Olaf, man. Always talking about him. Oh, did that count as the rest? It didn't. Would you like to have a rest conversation? I thought I did.
Yasuo.
Oh.
Sit with me a moment.
Another one.
If you insist.
I wish to know you. It is better to fight among friends than strangers.
I'd say both have their disadvantages.
I know what brought you here, but what of your life in Ionia?
What's there to tell? I've always been a drifter. I go where the wind takes me. I'd tell you more, but talking makes me thirsty.
You like your drink. This much I know.
It helps me tolerate other people.
Even me.
Let's find out.
Then let's drink to new friends.
And stubborn strangers.
Wow, another one. Jeez, what did I miss? 100 rush
Good
conversations?
evening, Yasuo. I see you've helped yourself to a drink. Or several.
A couple more and I won't even know you're here.
What is troubling you, brother?
I'm no one's brother. Not anymore.
Oh. What do you mean?
I had a brother once. His name was Yone.
What happened to him?
I killed him. Any other topics you'd like to discuss?
Brom does not know what to say.
Oh, there's a first.
Brom will go.
You can stay if you sit quietly.
Really?
Sure. Just no more questions.
What about stories?
Brom.
Okay.
Brom, man. Brom's one of the greatest characters. Oh, wow. They actually got me. Jeez. Well, I'm not going to go in like that. Just rest really quick, I guess. Freaking got smacked immediately.
Didn't think bounty hunters would have the nerve to come out here. I think you are mistaken. I know a killer when I see one.
I'm not a bounty hunter. But if you've hurt the girl, I will make you suffer.
Your girl put some of my best crew in the ground. She wasn't pleased to hear that my boss took her sunstone to the Shadow Isles. If she wants to get taken by the Black Mist, that's not my problem. She done got one of these fancy necklaces to keep her safe.
Wait. That stone around your neck. Where did you get it?
You know exactly where I got it, don't you, Truth Bearer? Kill him.
That guy definitely should have stayed for this fight. What, he left 2 people to deal with 3? Enemies with a stealth buff cannot be targeted individually. Knock them out of stealth by using abilities that target multiple enemies. Enemies are often extra dangerous while stealthed. You can perform defensive actions to brace yourself against their attack. Untargetable by single target abilities, increase attack power by 50%, remove from damage taken. I mean, just do like one of these. Boop. Yasuo. We'll have to do... we'll do this, because... yeah. And then we'll taunt them. So they both attack Alawi. We'll give her less defense, and hopefully we'll get some tentacles out of it. Okay. So Brom's gonna hit them. And then... 2 damage or 2 hits cutting, dealing additional 2 damage. We'll do this. Can we do normal? No. Because it has to go after Brom. He has to go after Brom is the thing. Why can't I pick it? Hey, what the heck? Oh, I can't target them because they're invisible. I can't use this either. Reduce all damage taken by 40%, reduce damage projectile. It's kind of useless. Guess I'll just use this again. Oh my gosh.
You're gonna bleed.
Alright, whatever. I mean, I don't want to waste it. Whatever.
Easy.
Nice. Wow, we got 2. Alright. Now we can start doing damage.
Swift, like vengeance.
Sorry, friend.
Yasuo's ult will kill this girl.
You should have run.
Oh wow, I'm missing comments. Wow, that's why I'm like that. I could not see any of your comments after the last one that I read, guys.
Too easy.
But they want to have their type. Hold
Now
on.
we feast.
No matter how much time you invest. Man, I wish I read these when we were talking about it. And it was literally impossible. Let me read them. Let me see. And it was literally impossible. Free to play at some point, no matter how much time you invest to beat the hardest endgame content. Yeah, that's not fair. You should be able to beat the game free to play. It shouldn't be an unfair advantage by paying to win that you can't complete the content without it. They want to have their type of player at the same time to reach their old peak sub numbers, which equals money, and that kills the game because you literally can't make everyone happy. I agree. It's like they're a revolving door of bad decisions because of that for World of Warcraft. But I like the uniqueness of League of Legends universe. They tried to create a unique identity unlike other games universes that take the concept from D&D, such as the races, elf, orc, dwarf, goblin. Yeah, I actually really agree with that. I feel like there's a lot of similarity across the other universes, but Runeterra is unique in a lot of ways. No matter what ideas you come up with or what type of shortcuts you take, yeah, you can't make everyone happy. I've never played an MMO before, but I'm somehow so fascinated by the idea of it. I wonder if there's anyone else in chat in the same shoes as me. I mean, if you're going to pick an MMO to start with, I would say World of Warcraft is not a bad game, definitely, but I'm not doing anything until Runeterra, I think. Pay to win, I think Riot might not do that because this company has never made a pay to win game before. They only made free to. Exactly. There's never been pay to win for any of their games. It's always been free to play with cosmetic kind of shops. The only game that is slightly pay to win, I would say, is Legends of Runeterra, but that's a card game, and every card game on digital card game is pay to win. Games like this, even though the game has free until it went bankrupt, they still didn't choose to make the game pay to win to buy cards. That's true. I mean, I literally buy the battle pass. I've never felt inclined to, and I didn't buy that for a long time. But PvP wise, it's not pay to win at all. You can get well more than enough cards to build your deck out in PvP. The thing that's pay to win a little bit is the what's it called? The Path of Champions, because the relics. Actually, people earn XP standing in a major city with their friends, so that's not that useless. See, but I feel like these are looking for group. Looking for group, I feel like really did a lot of damage to the community because. Oh, you're talking about the battle pets. Yeah, battle pets, I agree. Think they will add a Camivore map? 100% Camivore is coming. Camivore is coming for sure in an expansion. I don't think it's going to be at launch. I don't think you'll see it at all. I don't think a Cathy will be on the map either. Those will both be like missing from the map at launch. It's alright, man. Don't worry about it. You good. Yeah, I don't know. The chat got stuck and I didn't see any messages post what I read with you guys. The last message I read. Which sucks because I wanted to keep talking about it, but I was like, oh, okay, I guess we'll just move on to the Rune King. Hopefully my voice hasn't been cracking, though. I'm trying something different. My voice kept cracking every time the mic kept getting, like, staticky. Every time I would play Rune King. How do I get this? Careful, that's a cannon trap. It triggered. How exciting. The party can sprint through pressure plates like this to avoid taking damage. Other traps may function differently. Take care. How do I get this? I want it. Come here. Come here. I need it. I need it. Got it. Condensed mana crystal. Perfect. That was worth it. Alright, I gotta make sure I'm sprinting. This is walking. Yes, this is sprinting. Okay. Sprint through this. Whoosh. Look at this. I think if I hit her, does that automatically move her out of stealth? It does. Very nice.
Don't worry, I'll make this quick.
Okay. Braum. I definitely want to destroy this cannon guy first, because I feel like he does freaking group damage. Yeah. Malawi. Taunt, get some tentacles up. I actually think a free-to-play monetization model will be better for Riot anyways. Dude, that wouldn't buy a subscription, but might try RIOT MMO if it's free-to-play. Might end up buying a skin for $5. $5 is more than zero. They would have gotten with a subscription. I agree. I really don't think Riot would do a subscription model anyways, just because the way that they design all their other games are not subscription model based. Like Valorant's not subscription, League of Legends, Legends of Runeterra, they literally don't have a single subscription model game. So it's not like in their it's not something that they do even as is. So I think we're good on that front. It's going to be free to play. It's just a matter of how they make money. And I think they're aware of like a lot of the problems. Like they're aware of pay to win. They're aware of the importance of a Riot MMO community. Stuff like that. So, and they've talked about it in interviews and stuff, that monetizing, you know, like player interaction and stuff like that. That's a bad thing. So it'll be free to play, and I think they're gonna do a great job with it. I really do. I think it's not gonna be it'll be tasteful. I'm aware that like League of Legends has not been showing that amount of class apparently. Like I know that they have a $500 skin, but at the end of the day, League of Legends is just a skin game, and it doesn't matter. It has no like real value, and they've been selling skins forever. So they could price a skin at $1,000, and I wouldn't care at this point. You know what I mean? Like, you're already selling skins, so what does it matter what the price is? I'm not gonna buy a skin if it's $1. I'm not gonna buy a skin if it's a $500 skin. So what do I care? Same with Valorant. Like, they just sell skins, you know? It's not something that I would buy, but people would buy it. I really think a battle pass is the best thing that they can do for an MMO. I think selling skins is like, you'll get some whales, but whatever. I don't think that they should sell. Someone had a great idea of selling only some skins, right? You sell like, oh, it's 9 o'clock, I gotta go. Jeez, man, I wish my stream was freaking longer. Every time I get into we always get into, for some reason, a lull at like 8:40, and then 9 o'clock comes and you guys get into an engaging conversation. You screw. I don't want to. I get excited always at 9. I want to keep talking, but then I have to go to freaking work. By the way, they have a gacha mechanism for TFT eggs with Little Legends. Was wondering what you take on the gacha. Personally, I don't mind so long as it doesn't unlock power and only cosmetics. Yeah, as long as it's only cosmetics, I don't care. All right, man, take care. Yeah, as long as it's only cosmetics, I really don't care. But I do have to go to my meeting for work. Guys, always awesome talking to you. You know, I seriously, like, I love the streams, and if you missed anything, it'll be up on the YouTube later. And geez, it's Friday, so I will see you guys on Monday. And we'll talk about we're going to talk through on Monday the Riot MMO Cardinal Sins. So if you want to help me contribute to this article, let me know in Discord what you think those would be. So I will see you guys on Monday. Peace.